Welcome to the Candlepin Challenge, produced by CNA in conjunction with the International Candlepin Bowling Association. Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome inside the Woburn Bowlerdrome. John Holt with Dan Murphy and Trina Fernandez. Week 2 of our Youth Challenge, and in Week 1 last week, we saw a great effort from all three of our bowlers, but the champ, David Godwin, posted a 282.
You know, yeah, when you bring the youth on, you never know what you're going to get, you know, and the nerves and things like this. But I'll tell you, for the first show of the season, it was a terrific match. And how good is David Godwin?
We'll get a chance to see him again today. We'll speak with him in just a second. But first, we say hello to Trina Fernandez. Hi, Trina.
Thank you very much, John. Today, our challengers are John Blaze, who's 17, and Steve Reno, who's 15. And John, your first time on our show, but you know a little bit about bowling on TV. Well, how is that?
Well, I've bowled on Mr. Reno's Candlepin for Kids show. It's fun. It gets you used to, you know, bowling in competition.
So you should be a little used to the cameras.
Yeah.
And how do you know this guy over here?
Oh, well, through the league, Mr. Reno, I joined the league a few years ago and became like best friends. Now we're bowling on TV against each other.
All right. So who usually wins?
Him.
Well, we'll see what happens today, because one string, anything can happen, right?
Yep.
All right, and Steve, we know your name really well because we know your father really well. What's it like being out here, for you to be out here?
It's just used to it. You get to see him on, I get to go on with him sometimes, so all the nerves go away eventually. So.
And once again, your dad has a TV show for kids that bowl. Tell us about that.
Yeah, he has that every month. Starts next month, so hopefully me and him make it and then bowl against each other again.
All right. Well, it's nice to have a familiar name on the show. Good luck to both of you. Back over to you, John.
Trina, thank you. And David, you were so impressive last week, winning. You told me you just turned 17 recently. Could have fooled me. You look so good. How did you first get involved in bowling? At what age?
Around like 3-4 years old. I used to go watch my grandmother bowl at Academy Lanes. I'd love to go watch her bowl, you know, it's just fun.
Well, it's a pleasure to watch you bowl. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We're back with the Challengers match right after this on CNA. Back at the Woburn Bowlerdrome, glad you're with us for another edition of the Candlepin Challenge on CNA, our Youth Challenge, Week 2 this week, and we're all set for the Challengers match. One-game match, and Steven Reno will go first. Yes, as Trina told us in the opening, that is the son of Steve Reno, a regular on the Candlepin Challenge.
He's at the defending champ from last year and came on the beginning of this season.
Drop 6 to start. Lanes 35 and 36 in use here at the Bowlerdrome. It is Steven Reno versus John Blaze, the winner to meet David Godwin, our champion from Week 1 last week. That's an 8-box to start for Steve. From Southbridge, Massachusetts. There's the 5, the 8. An Earl sighting.
Oops. Oh, it's a stop and go. Oh, very close. All he has to do is touch them. There's a line down there in front of the head pin, about 12 inches, 18 inches, I forget now. I should know that because I'm the instructor school. But oh, great shot by Steve Reno. If any part of the pin touches that line, doesn't have to be all the way over. They removed that pin, and that helped Steve get a clear shot at the wood behind or next to the 2 pins for that spare.
To John Blaze. Misses to the left. John from Sturbridge, not to be confused with Southbridge. Right near each other out in central Massachusetts. Good recovery for a 9-box. John with an average of 107. His second box. It's 6 to go.
1, 2, 6, and 10. Makeable spare if he catches the head pin.
Early 1-pin advantage for Steve Reno, 18 to 17. Steve's dad, Steve, here with us today, cheering both bowlers on.
Oh, terrific ball.
And of course, happy to see his son get a strike. Looking for the double. And Earl is active early.
News that coincides with him jumping over the ball return.
You have a talented orchestra.
Yeah.
And Steve Reno goes spare on strike.
Well, he's got to do that. Corral the 6 and 9 pins.
Nine box follows up the strike. Back to John. Shooting for his first mark here in the third. Take out 5.
4 horsemen to the right with the 7-pin in the left-hand corner. Big arm swing. Oh, boy. That looked good going in.
Targets the 10, but can't pick it up. So an 8 gets his total to 25. And thanks to that run by Steve Reno early, he has the lead.
Drops 8. Leaves the 1 and 2 for a possible spare. They have some help coming up, resting against or behind the 1 and the 2. Now he's going to have to play it clean. Good 10 box.
21 pin advantage. Make that 31 pin advantage.
Oh, wow. There's Steve Reno, another strike. There's a look at that strike.
And he followed it up with another mark.
Steve Reno had 551 at Canal Lanes in Southampton where the final roll-off was held. John Blaze 624 for a score. Established a new high 5, personal high 5 that roll-off.
Well done in the 10 box. Here's John in the 5th. 6 down, 4 up.
John needs to get that first mark under his belt, settle himself down a little bit. Oh, just missed the head pin. Would have converted that for a spare.
Opposite an open frame in the 6th. Five down, 5 up. So Steve Reno in terrific shape. Heading down the stretch, up 32 pins, 84 to 52 as he works in the 7th.
Oh, boy.
Another one.
Terrific recovery.
There's a look at his dad, Steve Reno, in the middle.
You see that conversion of that spare. First ball got away from him, but that second was right on target. Diamond leave, 2, 4, 5, and the 8 pin in the back.
David Godwin to meet the winner in the 2-game championship match. And right now it appears that Steve Reno is on pace to be that winner. John Blaze is going to need a bunch of marks, and he needs them soon with just 4 boxes to go. Two, 4, 7, but not before Earl is called upon once again. Many of his body parts insured by Lloyd's of London in case he takes a slip out there. We won't tell you which body part. Gets 2 more pins.
Good 10 box.
John to the 8th.
There's the ball we're looking for.
A well-deserved mark.
You see a replay of that strike. It was just a matter of time. Too good a bowler not to throw a mark. But Steve Reno has been on that head pin all day long. He's looking at the 2 and the 4 this time with a difficult piece of wood out front.
$9 to 118 for Steve Reno.
I guess we told, or I guess Steve, take your time is not as in his vocabulary. He just
works quickly. Hey, it works for him.
It does. It keeps in that rhythm. Now, as I say that, well, he's got to wait for the piece of wood to settle down.
Last ball as he finishes his game.
4 marks is going to be well over 120. They get 127.
It's going to take a minor miracle for John Blaze.
Well, the miracle starts with another strike. If he were to throw another strike, be right back into it. But he would have to mark out, but a double strike is in his, has to be in his future here if he's going to have a chance. Ooh, boy, just the 2. That's the one he wanted. 7 fill on the strike.
So it's going to be Steve Reno into the championship round. And he will face a very talented bowler in David Godwin. Impressive
Terrific
performer a week
spare.
ago.
about these kids. When mathematically they're not the winner, they still keep fighting. It's a great spare there in the 10th frame by John Blaze. And just 2.
Gets him to a pin shy of 100. It's a 28-pin victory for Steve Reno, 127 to 99. We start the championship match, game 1, next. All set for the championship match, game 1. The reigning champ on the Youth Challenge, David Godwin, to go first. And he, of course, will take on Steve Reno, who just won his challengers match, 127 to 99 over John Blaze. David had a 2-game total of 282 last week. Takes out 6. David is 17 years old, just recently turned 17. Mentioned to us last week that a year from now, when he's 18, he will look to qualify as one of the adults in the Candlepin Challenge. And at that point, of course, he can take home money as part of his winnings. Prize money.
Oh boy. Got a terrific break off. Look like he's going to be left with a spread eagle. And when all's said and done, 610 is left with a, well, difficult piece of wood out in front, but better than shooting at the spread eagle. Nicely done.
The kids can't win cash on the show, but they all get savings bonds, and nice jackets, Letterman jackets, and of course trophies. Steve put up 127 in his challengers. He'll have his hands full contending with David, but he may be up to it. Bowled quite well in that first game. Matches the 9, now he's opposite the mark. Little twist in the format, of course, with the Youth Challenge, but still we have the audience participation segment coming up between games 1 and 2 of this championship match. And today, that person will bowl for $300. That's what the jackpot's up to. Spencer Alisi from Methuen was the name drawn today, right out of cards submitted from the audience. So if you come to a taping, you can do the same thing and take a crack at having your name drawn and appearing on the Strike Challenge. David with a fill of all 10. The 7th, the last to go. Take a look at the replay, Dan.
Unbelievable. That 7-pin was a little stubborn, but it finally goes down, and he's leaving off where he left off last week.
Half Worcester left. First part of the fill got him 2. Here's the second ball. 5 more.
$54 after 4 boxes for our champ.
On the head pin for Steve Reno, and he'll be looking at the 7. Got it the second time around. Box 4 now for Steve, looking for his first mark.
He needs to get untracked early against this our champ. He's bowling terrific. Another spare leave for Steve. That's going to take them all.
Leaving nothing. It is a strike for Steve Reno.
This piece of wood in between the 6-10 and when the 10 fell, it hits the wood and into the 6. Strike for Steve Reno.
We don't often see that from David in his week plus on the show.
We haven't seen that very often from him in the short stint he's been here.
See if he can keep his concentration after really the first bad box I can remember.
Yeah, the first hiccup he's had in the 2.5 games he's bowled, but last week it was just a terrific 135, 147, 282. I guess it didn't bother.
Right back at it, leaving only the 10, which is slid over a little bit.
And this is a difficult, because this wood is going to snap off the wall unless you can put the ball right next to the channel. Push it straight back.
It's a fine line.
Oh, great shot. That was a lot more difficult than it appeared.
This is Steve following up his strike for the 4th.
Missing the head pin leaves himself to 1, 2, 9, and 10. Oh, right between the 9 and the 10 went the head pin. Never touched either one of them.
Fill of 8 and a 9 box.
He climbs back to within 5 of our champ. Now he's got to match the mark put up in the 6th. Wants the 10 pin to go. It does.
Two in the 4.
Where's his dad? You're going to play the wood. You got to make up your mind.
Matches that mark, and we have a real good one so far, folks. Steve Reno, David Godwin back with the finish of game 1 after this on CNA. Just 5 pins separating David Godwin and Steve Reno. 6 boxes into game 1, the reigning champ. David up by that handful of pins, and he will step in for the 7th. Coming off a spare in the 6th, so this is the fill. Healthy fill of 8.
Off the head pin, but he got a decent break. Drops 8. And Earl's going to take a look at that pin out in front. And it remains in play. If that's going to be a help or not.
That is a 9 box for David.
86 with 3 to go for our champ, David Godwin. Does most of his bowl at the Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And again, qualified out of the Alley Cat Lanes in Kingston, Mass. Half Worcester right.
David not quite as sharp as he was a week ago, so an opportunity for Steve Reno. He had a spare in the 6th, so he'll start the 7th with an important ball.
Just 3. Trailing by 10. Boxes completed.
matches the 9. Now opposite the 5 here in the 8th.
This is where Steve would really like to put a mark up. It's going to be a difficult one because that sleeper I referred to many, many times. The 4, 5, and then the sleeper in the back, the 8. Oh, it got off the wood a little bit. That gave him a different angle, the ball coming into those 3 pins, and it worked for him. Terrific shot. It catches just a little bit of that wood. Watch. Good shot. That climbs to within 5 pins, and he'll reduce that by the next ball he throws.
See how the champ responds. Back in his feet for the first time. So a 9, a 5, and an 8, 3 consecutive open marks. Take a look at some of the family on hand to support David Godwin, Dave's mother in the middle. And a strike. Something to be proud of right there. He responds. After the 3 open boxes, big strike in the 10th, and he'll get 2 bonus balls.
Gives himself the 2 and the 7 pins left.
.117, a little bit off his average, but a solid score from David Godwin. Now Stephen Reno. Leaves the goalposts.
Wants the wood to stick around. Lost 1 piece. Now he's got to come up high in the front piece of wood, and then hopefully something sticks around for the 7. The wood should take the 10. No, it's a 10 pin that he had trouble with. Good try, though. Leading by 5, but he's opposite the strike in the 10th.
We'll reset the pins. Leaves 5.
Terrific try and a spare. He's going to be behind, but it's not going to be by many.
The champ gets tested, but he emerges from the first game up by 4 pins, 117-113. Start of game 2 next from Woburn on CNH.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Spencer Alisi. And Spencer, where are you from?
Methuen.
Methuen. And how you feeling today? You know, $300 on the line.
Yeah, I hope I can do it. We'll see what happens.
You feeling lucky?
I hope so.
All right. Well, I hope you feel it. Do it. Go
Thank
get
you.
him.
All right, all set now for Spencer, the $300 strike challenge. That's what the jackpot's at.
That's a pretty good ball, 1-3 pocket.
It's now for $50 if he can get the spare. Misses to the left, so it's $1 every pin.
Spencer trying to make a fashion statement for Candlepin bowling as well as his form. He gets 7 though.
$7 and of course the t-shirt. We thank you for participating, Spencer. Yes, he hears it from his buddies up in the crowd. All right, back to our match. Game 2 with David Godwin, our champ, up 4 pins. Steve Reno, the challenger, to start. Nine pins for Steve. After this week, we'll have 2 more weeks of the Youth Challenge, then we'll be back to the adult bowlers and the reigning champ, John Zappi. Just in time for New Year in the beginning of 2007. We will, though, see youth bowlers again this season later in the year, back for a second run. That'll be early springtime.
Oh, that close to converting that difficult spare, Steve Reno. Dad and grandfather and grandmother, and everybody could knock that one over for him.
2 open boxes for Steve. Can David take advantage? Leaves a 3 and the 5.
Yeah, again, a difficult piece of wood out in front, though. Even directing the pins like an adult. I'm trying to get him out of the way. Let's try to get by the front piece.
Matches the 9, yep, to keep his lead at 4 pins.
Well, he'll shoot at the 2, 4, and 5 pins. Trying to put that first mark of that second game up there. And he does.
We knew he'd be a tough champ to beat. So far, he's living up to that. Box 3 for Steve.
Oh, there's a break. But he's, again, the wood has not been kind to these 2 bowlers. You can see the difficulty there. I think if he hits it below the red line, he's going to miss the front pin. Oh, he's going to miss all 3 of them. Difficult wood.
There's Dad.
And grandfather right next to him with the glasses on. In fact, Harry, Steve's dad, was an excellent Candlepin bowler in his own right. I competed against Steve's dad. Oh, what a great shot there. That'll liven the crowd up a little, won't it?
Doing the family name proud.
Very nicely done.
Here's David with the fill. 9. Right around the 10.
Anytime the wood is out in front of the corner pins, it's never a sure bet. A lot of things can happen by the time it travels 18 inches or so back to that pin. The 10 box gives him 38, increases his lead by 10, 14 overall, but he's now faced with a mark put up in the 4th frame by Steve Reno.
Matches
and he
it.
answers that with a strike.
Betters it, actually. Steve Phil. 3, 5, 6, 7. The wood a concern. Take a look at the numbers as they're playing out here in game 2. Yeah, there goes the head pin. Leaves the 7.
And again, he's got a nice piece of wood against it, but this piece out in front is not good.
Where will it stop? Not
Looks
in a
like
good
maybe
spot.
he can get by on the left, but oh, he did. He caught the cap of the wood in front of the 7-pin.
Tough break for Steve Reno in box 6.
And you can't give our champ any openings at all. Want to keep the pressure on him by putting at least one mark up each time. He'll fill the strike now in the 4th.
Seven and the 9 in that back row. Spare for David.
It's strategy beyond his years, John. And I was going to say, avoid the front piece and just carry him the ball off it, but I'm figuring he's going to take both pieces because he's a youth. You wouldn't be thinking of that, but he's been around the bowling lanes a long time. Knows how to work the wood, the angles. What can you say about him? He's a terrific Candlepin bowler. He lost the head pin for a few boxes there, but he seems to be back on it again now.
Gets him over 200 total, in good shape as we approach the final 4 boxes. That's next here on CN8 in the Candlepin Challenge. Back in Woburn, and we invite you to join us tomorrow for our next taping.
Exactly, and a lot going on. Got to get here early. Expect a big crowd because John Zappi will be going for a tie of a record of 8 consecutive wins, tying Det Klein. So come on down tomorrow. Get here early.
And of course, you can register to be part of the audience participation segment, Strike Challenge. First, some business today, though. Final 4 boxes, game 2 of our Youth Challenge Championship, and Steve Reno down 27 pins. Three, 7, 10.
Oh, that's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted the second ball. Terrific 10.
Good opportunity, 3-6.
Oh, right around it. A little thin.
Luck has not been on his side. David opposite the 2 opens in 7 and 8.
He is definitely back on the head pin. Those pins are just exploding now when he puts that ball in the pocket. A nice little guide on the 6 pin.
spare in the 7th. He'll build upon it in the 8th. Fill ball coming up. That's worth 6 more. Six in the 10, stick around.
I thought he had a chance of making the spare, and he only got 2 out of the 4 pins. He put it right in the 1-3 pocket. I don't know what happened. Terrific 10, though. 113 with 2 to go.
Stretches his lead to 34 overall. Up 30 in this game after taking a 4-pin edge in game 1. Oh, 10 for Steve Reno. He was due for that. He had a couple close calls. No luck, but that time he delivers the strike. 4 in the 7th. Keep going there. First part of the fill, first ball gets him 7. Final ball coming up for Steve Reno. Got it. .224 total, a 113 followed by a 111. And David Godwin will win again this week.
Another spare. 122 in the 9th plus the ball.
Not quite as solid and good as last week, but very steady. More than good enough for the win. Eight down, 2 up. Another winning week for David. He will be back with us again next week as he defeats Steve Reno. Wins it by 33. We're back to wrap it up after this from Woburn. Welcome back, week 2 of the Youth Challenge, and once again, David Godwin is our winner. Not quite as spectacular as last week, but very solid.
Well, he seemed to lose at the couple boxes there, but the sign of a true champ. He came back on the headpin, started exploding him again, and then took control of the match.
We'll get the thoughts of David in just a second, but first, Trina standing by with the runner-ups. Trina?
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm back here with John Blaze and Stephen Reno. And John, not too bad for your first time on this show. Hopefully we'll see you many times in the future, but how'd you feel out there?
I was nervous today. I couldn't throw my same ball, but it was fun.
Did it help that you knew your opponent?
Oh, yeah.
I saw you guys high-fiving each other. It looked like you were having a good time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's just like bowling leagues against each other, except a little more pressure.
So what are you going to take away from this experience?
Well, now I can take away the fact that I can work under pressure. It's a good experience.
Excellent. Well, that's a good thing to learn. Good life lesson. And we have a beautiful trophy for you for your fantastic effort today. And Steve, you looked excellent out there. How'd you feel you performed?
I felt good. In the second game, I had no luck against Dave, and he bowled better than I did. I guess that's how it goes.
It looked like you were handling the pressure pretty well, though. Did it help that you've been on TV before and that you've seen your dad perform on the TV?
Oh yes, a lot.
Excellent. Well, we have a beautiful trophy for you as well, and a $75 savings bond and a $50 savings bond for you too, John. So, you gonna come back and see us again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent.
You betcha.
Excellent. Well, we love your dad, so hopefully we'll see you both back here again very soon. Back over to you guys.
Trina, thank you. David gets a trophy himself for the second straight week and another $100 savings bond. You showed a couple cracks in the armor midway late in game 1, but right away you got back on your game.
Yeah, I just started to lose grip of the ball, just not keeping my balance, not staying square on my shoulders. But then I fixed it, got back together, started throwing a good ball.
Well done.
Yeah, the one prize that we haven't mentioned yet is that the highest 2-game total at the end of the 8 weeks, this 4 weeks and the 4 weeks in the spring, gets an additional $500 savings bond. Right now, you lead that with the 282 you hit last week. So let's hope it hold up.
I hope so. Maybe next week I can break it again, but we'll see.
That's a lofty goal. We'll see you next week for your third
Alrighty,
week.
we'll see you then.
David Godwin, our winner again. He's back next week. We hope you are too, right here on the CN8 Candlepin Challenge.